All right, welcome to history class. I'm Mr. Deyling. Welcome aboard. It's going to be a great year. It's going to be, of course, different than every other year we've ever done before, but hey, it just makes it interesting. So I wanted to take a moment and just really quickly introduce you to a couple things that I really think you'd want to know as a parent. So first of all, this is my 7th year here, and so far every year we've been teaching these monstrosities. Abe and King Tut. We are still teaching Abe and King Tut. That hasn't changed. So yeah, we like the curriculum for history. I like the curriculum for history. So we're rolling with it. Something though that I really is going to be very important this year is that I'm not assigning these books to take home. We're not sending home copies unless parents specifically want a copy, nor am I sending them to the kids' lockers. I'm just going to keep a class set here because realistically I don't use them very often. What I use most of all is the online textbook, which your students really should be able to get to learn how to use the online textbook. They've all been given codes as to how it works. Ms. Campiani has had them create a document in their math team that with their username and password. So I would very much encourage you to have your students show you how to do this, just so no matter where they are, they can access their textbook. Speaking of access anywhere, it's going to be even more important this year that all students learn how to use Microsoft Office. Office.com is where you want to go. They should already know how to log into that. You can use it wherever you are. Specifically, it's got all your programs, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, but realistically, Teams, Microsoft Teams, is going to be vital to their success in my classroom this year. Not only is that where all of my assignments going to go, any homework assignments will be sent there. Occasionally, we will have quizzes through Microsoft Teams. And the biggest change for my class this year is that I'm actually going to use the class notebook. The class notebook is where the students can have access to notes at all times, no matter where they are. This is my effort to go entirely paperless in this classroom. I made a really good step in that direction last year, and I think it's really doable this year. So one of the changes that I've made a lot of is I want the teaching and the learning and the studying to be the same whether they're in the class or whether they're at home. And so realistically, having students copying notes really isn't going to work in making sure they have the right information. And so in the class notebook, I'm actually creating systems of notes and sharing them with the students with a lot of blanks in them that they have to fill in as we go through. To start the year, it's a lot of my creation, less of their creation. But as the year goes through, we're going to migrate to where they're going to have to put more into that. So really, students need to be able to use Teams. They need to know how to access their class notebook at all times. They need to know how to access their assignments at all times. If they don't know how to do that, they're going to be in very big trouble. Not only in my class, but in probably a lot of other classes. I highly recommend you as a parent sit down and look at it, have your child log in. I recommend at home saving the password on the computer. Like when they log in, choose to remember that password on the computer. I can tell you that I've got my daughter, Caitlin's in 4th grade, and on the computer she works at home, I have 5 bookmarks on the bookmarks menu. And so she can just easily navigate from one to the next, and each one is already signed in. It's a lifesaver to not have to remember passwords. Obviously, you want to keep them somewhere, but just have them logged in at all times. And realistically, I know history isn't the favorite for a lot of kids. I love history. My wife hates history. That's just how we do it. But the takeaway that I like to have for my classes is I want to be able to engage in conversation. It's good to know why certain things happen when they happen, but I really want to be able to have conversations about how things that happen 2,000 years ago, 3,500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, how that all affects what's going on in our world right now. Whether it's in our neighborhood, whether it's in our country, whether it's halfway around the world. It's really important for students to know what's going on. In terms of homework expectations for me, I try to keep it light. I know they have homework in other classes that can get a little bit burdensome. So realistically, I try to keep it light and regular routine. So most of the homeworks that I assign, not all, but most, are going to be assigned on Monday, and they're going to be due Friday. Obviously, unless we have a shortened week. Sixth grade, they're doing researching countries. Seventh grade, they're researching states. Eighth grade, they're researching presidents. It's the same format. If they've been in my class before, they know what to expect. If they haven't been in the class before, we're walking them through that. But again, all that is assigned in teams. So obviously we're posting it in RenWeb as well. But really, I can't stress enough again, teams is going to be so vital to what's going on. Now, I don't want you to think I've abandoned total reminding them, because if you see the board behind me there, I have posted their homework for the week. And so if I were to zoom in close enough, it would tell you that this week's countries are Haiti and the Dominican Republic. So I remind them all the time. And it's on the board every day, all week. It's in RenWeb all week. It's in Teams all week. There really is no excuse. And my goal for the class, I don't think there's a reason anybody gets less than a B in history. It's just a little bit of effort, doing the homework you're assigned. When we do projects, I try to keep them fun. Yes, there will be some historical writing, but that's usually for the older kids. Try to keep it as fun as possible, and maybe take a subject that might feel boring to them and make it just a little bit more interesting. I look forward to a great year. Please email, as always, if you have any questions, jdayling@trinitypbg.org. That's realistically the best way to get a hold of me, because I'll answer emails as I can, but phone calls can't answer from teaching the middle class, and it makes it harder. So it's going to be a great year. We'll stay safe, do everything we can to make sure that our school doesn't have to feel the effects of any shutdown. And you do your part, we'll do our part, and together we're going to get through this. All right. God bless.